Hey YouTube, it's Bill in the Hills again. Wanted to show you this newest knife I've came up with. I think you guys are going to like this guy here. This is probably one of my most recent ones I got at a yard sale. It's a handmade knife, and I've just done some work on as far as fixing the blade and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a really good knife. And I've had my neck knife in one of the other videos that I carry. And it's just in, of course, a copper sheath with some gear stored on the inside. And this knife here was one a man gave me actually on a job, and it's actually got my name on it. I think it was one of 3. This one's got a number 3 on it. It appears to be stainless and a real good, I mean, full 1/4 inch tang all the way through. Now this right here is what I really want to show you. Now I've been wanting a good bush knife, kind of a larger knife. I do got a Collins machete, which is it's a 67. It's a really good knife. But I was wanting something just a little smaller. Now what I've done, and I'm still working on the handle. I put a place for a lanyard in it right here, and put rivets. I hope that's coming up, and I just put finger grips in it. I didn't really make a video on me making the handle. I mean, there's a ton of those on YouTube. This was my first time. It wasn't too difficult, really. Some epoxy and some brass rivets. Now, I can say that I spent a little money on a ton of drill bits trying to get through this steel. Drilling this one here, you can see that it rolled a little forward on the steel, and I just couldn't really correct it. But that's some hard steel. Matter of fact, I'm having a pretty tough time sharpening it, really. Now what this is, you may recognize that without the handle. That's just an old sickle blade. This thing was already sharpened. That's sharp there, all the way around to here, and it had like a 5-foot handle on it. I took and just clamped a piece of metal down on here so it give me a good straight line, and I just slowly took a cutting wheel and cut it in half so that I haven't messed with any of these outer edges. And I think it's going to be just an excellent blade. It's some good spring steel, and like I said, once I get an edge on it, it's probably going to take me a little while to get it off and just hacking at wood. Now I'm going to shut this off, and I'm going to go over and clamp this in a vise and show you what kind of spring's still left in this. Now this is another one I'm going to make, but let me shut this off and show you. Okay, now I'm just going to clamp this in here. Now, I guess when this thing's made, I don't know if you can see down that, there's a slight, I mean just ever so slight of a bow in it. And it was probably, you know, so the sickle would work better, you know, hacking it in that direction. So, I had to work the other one out. Let me get this in here. I just want to show you what kind of springs in this thing. I was just simply amazed, and I was really amazed whenever I was trying to drill it. Back this up, and I'll bring it right here. And you can see, I mean, I could probably pull that all the way down there even 90 degrees. So that blade's just make sure it's not going to break on me. I mean, yeah, I may not be able to jab that into a car hood like some of the, you know, thicker knives, but I think that's going to be an excellent knife. And the good thing out of that blade is I got me 2 good knives out of it. This one here, I'm not completely sure if I want to get rid of this guy here or not, but as I progress on it, I'm going to do some demonstrations out of it and just see what kind of cutting it'll do. So I'll get back with you on that. Let's see what it'll do. Well, we've got a pretty good edge on it. Okay, I'd turn that off a minute. There's a big old truck going down the road. Well, that seems like it sliced it there pretty good. Now, I've just worked on the edge just a little bit with, you know, just some of the sharpening tools I got. I used the valve grinding compound, trying to get a good Scandi edge on back here on the back, and trying to leave a utility edge here on the front. But I think that's going to be a pretty good knife. Okay, one of these here, if you have one of these old brush tools laying around and it's just hanging on a wall in a basement or something, turn it into a good knife, maybe two knives. Like I said, this one here is kind of up in the air. My boys like this one pretty well. I'm going to put a handle on it as soon as I can figure out an easier way to drill the holes in this thing. But they seem to like that point right there, and it's kind of cool. Otherwise, you know, easily can be just converted into, you know, two knives back to back like that. But you see what kind of steel that's made out of. I don't know what kind it is, but I know it's some good steel. You see me spring it and chop that board in half, and that was just with a little bit of sharpening. Now I'll show you. I mean, it's still got that kind of edge on it. And yeah, I know I cut my rag box. Okay. And for a size comparison here, let's see, that's 7 inches, and this is an 1.5 inches wide. It's a 2x6 is what it is. And that knife turned out to be about 15 inches long, and the widest part is pretty close to 2 inches there. It's like 1 7/8 inches. So you can see there, it's 15 inches, about 15 1/4. Okay, and like I said, I put a nice little brass dowel in there for my lanyard, and some good brass pins. So I'm probably not going to do much more than just sharpen this guy up, and we'll just kind of give some of these things a test. And you know, I do have this other one here that I'm going to be working on. I may not do no test with it. It's the same steel. Like I said, just wanted to still working on my pack, and I'm going to be trying to hopefully all this gear out here pretty soon. Thanks, YouTube.